Beautiful Aruba, guys. After this, I got some shorts I need to record for social media and stuff, YouTube. And then I'm going to Eagle Beach in Aruba. So I'm excited. Haven't even eaten breakfast yet. Just had some coffee and some water. But today's video is going to be what kind of real estate properties you should buy to make the most money. First and foremost, this video is sponsored by Credzly.com. Okay, go sign up. Credzly.com. Their services allow you to have credit builder accounts to build your credit essentially with credit builder account, rent reporting, and you could also monitor all three credit bureau reports. Okay, guys, great service, great deal, great price, and yeah, if you want to do the stuff that we talk about here at Leverage Academy, you should be signed up with Credzly. Also, I want to go ahead and shout out Leverage Academy, my school community. I have a credit maxing course where I teach you how I went from 350 to 750 credit score and purchased 3 real estate properties all in 1 year. Okay, did not file bankruptcy. Uh, Literally got everything disputed that was negative off my credit report, and I was also able to invest in real estate, and I was able to learn a high income skill and go and make money doing what I was doing, helping other people how I was helping myself. So, actually, I have a story I want to share. So, my cousin, I have a, well, actually, it's my cousin's son, but he reached out to me on Instagram a while ago, a couple months ago now. And he basically was just asking me, like, hey, man, I want to get into real estate. You know, can you, like, tell me exactly how you're doing it? Tell me what you're doing, this and that. Like, just coming to me for advice, right? He wants to level up, get some properties. Currently, he doesn't have any. And I was just telling him, I was like, listen, man, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I said, you're a young guy in your 20s, okay? If you just purchase a real estate property every year, first of all, guys, I was actually researching. About 65% of US households are homeowners. Okay, but that's not exactly the stats I want. Here, I'm going to actually, how much of the population are homeowners? How much percent? 65% of US households are owner occupied. Okay, cool. How many percent of population own multiple properties? Wow. 2022, there was about 6.5 million second homes in the US, representing 4.6. Okay, so like it says only 4 to 5% of the US homes are used as second homes. Okay, well, that's not really what I'm asking here. Anyways, guys, the point is this. Like, a lot of people don't own homes, okay? First of all, you could differentiate yourself and level up by purchasing your first property, right? My cousin, he was trying to ask me, what type of property should I buy? And he told me the same regurgitated BS I've heard nonstop. Multifamily, multifamily, multifamily. You could do what is it? House hacking and this and that. Listen, I'm not against multifamily, but guys, not everyone can buy a multifamily, man. Okay, if that's out of your budget and you can't get approved for that high of a mortgage, then it is what it is. Are you gonna not do it? No, that's stupid, man. Like, that's gonna be another excuse for you to wait. Like, I can't tell you guys how many people I've met where, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy when the market crashes, or I'm gonna buy when I can afford this much, and da 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 da. Man, holy cow. Any excuse to push it off. Listen, the biggest real estate investors I personally know, they're always buying. Okay. And this is actually the thing I was going to tell my cousin actually was that you're in your 20s, okay? They live in the DC area, suburbs of DC, Virginia, right? Very, very expensive housing market over there. And actually, I told him, I said, even if you purchase a condo, guys, just a single unit, okay, in a nice building. The only thing I will say with that, though, is make sure that they allow you to rent it. But Let's say you purchase a condo every year, or a townhouse every year, or a single family home, or a multifamily, right? It doesn't matter, or either or, right? Every year, guys, I just bought 3 properties in the last year. So one shouldn't be that hard, okay? Anyways, you purchase if you're in your 20s. I'm still in my 20s, but I'm getting to the latter end. I'm gonna be 30 soon, just turned 29. But a guy like him, he's a couple years younger than me. I told him, I said, listen, even if you buy a condo every year, man, by the time you're in your 30s, you will be up. Okay. Where I live in the Midwest, condos are 150 grand, 200 grand now, guys, in the suburbs where I live of Chicago. That being said, I have another story I want to share. Actually, I was going to make this a separate video, but why not just throw it in here? I was trying to basically have the perfect scenario. I wanted to house hack, okay? This was way back in the day when I was purchasing my first real estate property, okay? And I was working in corporate. Um, and, you know, I heard this whole house hack, house hack, house hack. Oh, multifamily, multifamily, multifamily. The same stuff you guys hear. Because the thing is, the problem with that is that they try to discourage you from doing anything else. Guys, always have backup plans. Always, you know, look at your options. Don't just think one thing and that's it. No, you should have multiple options in mind. Okay, because your main plan might not always work out. So basically, what happened with me was I wanted to house hack. Okay, and the first property I went into contract for was in West Humboldt Park, Chicago. It was 2 units with a basement. Okay, horrible neighborhood. And like literally, guys, there was a rest in peace mural. Some dude had just gotten shot, and they had a whole Ace of Spades bottles lined up with his picture right outside. Like literally, this was like 2 doors down from the property I was looking at buying. And you know, I was just so thirsty to purchase this property and do house hacking that I was like, whatever, I don't care. This is what I could afford. At the end of the day, I didn't get approved for much, guys. Like I think that this property was about $250,000. It was a 2 unit apartment building. Mind you, guys, in Chicago, Illinois, even in bad neighborhoods, man, it's like 300 grand to get a 2 unit, you know? So if not more. So you could imagine there's definitely 2 units and whatnot, and plus more, right? There's what is it called? Multifamilies in nice areas as well, but oh, they get expensive, okay? And that's all I could afford at the time. And I went ahead and went into contract with it, and it didn't work out actually because what happened was the type of mortgage I was doing conventional. No, was it conventional or FHA? I don't even remember. But basically, long story short, there was about 40 grand worth of upgrades or repairs that needed to be done. And I was just like, you know what, this is too much, man. This is too much. Because I was trying to buy turnkey at the time. And that didn't work out. So I ended up leaving. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't live there because, you know, it's a bad neighborhood, guys. Like, it wouldn't, I honestly, I could have lived there. I could have survived, whatever. Everything would have been fine. But what would have happened after, right? Like, I would have sold it and the price wouldn't have gone up much. You know, bad neighborhoods always appreciate the slowest. It wasn't gentrifying or anything, not yet at least. The other side of Humboldt Park was a little bit more gentrified, but also the type of tenants that I would have rented it to, it would have been a headache, man. It would have been like Section 8 or whatever, but whatever. Listen, at the end of the day, God's plan is the best plan. So boom, I go to Cicero. I see a 2 unit there, brand new, turnkey ready, and actually, I wouldn't have cash flowed. I would actually ended up. The deal just didn't make sense. It was actually overpriced, right? Even the what is it called? When they actually go and they send the appraisal came back higher than what. Sorry, the appraisal came back lower than what they were trying to sell me the property for. And when that happens, you actually have to pay the difference because the bank will only mortgage the amount that it's worth. If it's not worth what they're trying to sell it to you, for example, guys, if a house is only worth 300,000, but they're trying to sell it to you for 400,000, you're gonna have to pay the down payment, closing costs, plus the 100 grand. That's, not accounted for in the value. Okay, the bank is not going to let you cover that. So anyways, it just didn't make sense. You should always try to buy under value, okay, not over value. Then it's just a bad deal for you. So, I really do feel like, and at that point, guys, right, this is my first property I'm looking for. Already I'm in contract twice, man. I'm a resilient guy. That's how resilient I am. I did not give up. I just don't take no for an answer, guys. I kind of got used to being told no 3 times before I get the yes. And I'm not going to lie, it makes me unstoppable, undefeatable. But long story short, it worked out in my favor because guess what, guys? I ended up in the very nice suburbs of Chicago. And I was able to purchase a very nice townhouse in the very nice suburbs of Chicago. And guess what? I got a really good deal on it. It was undervalued. It needed repairs. And it actually, people told me, don't do it, man. You're not a real estate investor. You don't know how to do that stuff. You're going to buy a piece of shit property and you're going to rehab it. You don't know how to do that stuff. Everyone was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I said, man, I showed them. I bought that property. Okay. So I bought it for $145,000. I put in like $25,000 into it, and I made it very nice. It was a small townhouse in a very good area. Guess what, guys? It was later worth $210,000, right? Literally, like I'm talking about after the updates and everything, like a couple months later, like within 6 months, I got it up to 210, right? So I actually forced equity right there. It worked out, and guess what? I started doing that same process over and over again. First of all, it taught me a couple lessons. It taught me that you don't have to necessarily invest in multifamily. Okay, it doesn't really matter what you invest in. Okay, just find good deals and purchase them. I don't care if it's condos. I don't care if it's multifamily. I don't care if it's single family, any of that stuff, condos. Because if you're finding good deals and you're buying consistently, eventually you're going to be up crazy. So like that example I was telling my young cousin, if he is in his 20s, let's just say he's 25, right? And then he buys a property every year. By the time he's 30, he's going to have 5 properties. And it doesn't matter if they're all condos, or if they're all townhouses, or if they're a mix of townhouses, condos, single family, mixed use, or what is it? Multifamily. Guys, he's going to be up. Way more up than the other 30-year-olds his age, right? Whatever. So the point of the story is, guys, just get into real estate. Right now, honestly, if you don't have your first real estate property, you obviously are watching this content because you want to purchase your first real estate property, okay? So just focus on that. Worry about the second property when you're already purchased the first one, okay? So that being said, guys, sign up for Credzly.com, okay? This video is sponsored by Credzly. Credzly, you're allowed to, basically, their services allow you to build your credit, okay? They get you 2 primaries, the credit builder account, and also the rent reporting. So you get 2 primaries, and you get to check your credit report credit report on all 3 bureaus, okay? For $50 a month, that's a steal. The other thing I want to say is sign up for Leverage Academy. Like I just told you guys, I went from 350 credit score to 750 credit score within a year, and I also simultaneously purchased 3 properties, okay? And they were all in nice areas. They were all rehabs. I fixed them up also. So, yeah, man, I do this stuff, okay? Go sign up for Leverage Academy, and I will teach you how to get your first property. It's not hard. It's very easy to do, okay? I don't care how young you are. I mean, as long as you're over 18, right, and you have a social security number, man, you could go crazy with credit, okay? That's the point of the story. It doesn't matter what you buy. Just start buying, okay? Become a homeowner, and then worry about getting your second property. Everyone's situation is different also, I will say. Personally, look, guys, I bought my first property. I ended up selling that, right? So then what ended up happening was I bought my second property, okay? And me and my wife live in it. I bought another property. I put my mother and father into it, right? And then I have a third property as well, all brand new homes, and I'm renting that out. So that was just my goal. Of course, I could have, made more money, but I'm not doing this. Let me rephrase that. It was more important for me to get my parents a new house. Okay, that is very important to me, and to take care of them, right? It's also very important to me to get my wife a house where she wanted and to make it nice and all that type of stuff. And then I bought a third property, which I'm actually actively renting out. So it's all about your situation and your goals, guys. But, I'm going to keep going and keep purchasing properties because to me, it's about building wealth. And yeah, I'm just going to keep buying. I don't care what kind of properties necessarily it is. I'm not looking to house hack or, listen, guys, I'm married at the end of the day. I don't think my wife wants to live in an apartment, in a lower income area in Chicago just so we could house hack. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Um, Actually, I'm gonna have my editor put in all my social medias and stuff like that, so you guys can keep up with me. And yeah, thanks for watching.